How's it going, everybody? So today in this video we're going to be discussing Feeling is a Secret by Neville Goddard and some of the philosophies from Abraham Hicks, and basically a more clear and concise explanation for how your feelings manifest your reality. So this philosophy, these are the kind of things that Abraham Hicks and Neville Goddard both talk about, even though they are supposedly kind of gurus of different laws. Abraham Hicks basically claims to be preaching the law of attraction, whereas Neville Goddard is claimed to teach something different called the law of assumption. But in essence, when you really understand the feeling aspect of this, they're similar things. Okay? Neville Goddard, though, is saying basically that you are literally you are reality, basically. And that your imagination is literally reality and there's nothing outside of it. That's kind of like a shade of the philosophy known as Salafism. Whereas the law of attraction, not Neville Goddard, but like things like Abraham Hicks, basically is you are setting your mind like a radio tuner to a frequency, and then reality is like the universe, an external force, is bringing you experiences and things that are in alignment with that frequency. So supposedly they're two different things, because Neville Goddard claims your internal world is all that exists and you are literally like the creator of you are your reality. Whereas Abraham Hicks is basically saying that you're tuning your mind to kind of like attract things from the outside world, right? Anyway, so regardless of how you see things, the ideas that Neville Goddard writes about in Feeling is a Secret. So, the concept like living in the end, for example. I know what that means now. And Abraham Hicks, she kind of she simplifies it a lot. And she basically says, just feel good and that's all that matters, right? That's really hard to kind of interpret in practical sense, because Abraham Hicks, when you listen to her, sometimes she makes it sound like no matter, like she's like, just do anything you can to feel good. And it's like, so you're telling me someone who goes and smokes meth or drinks a bunch of alcohol and gets drunk and eats a bunch of candy and stuff and feels good about it, that makes you feel good in the short term. And you're telling me that that's the key to manifesting a good life? You know what I mean? So people get confused when they listen to her. And she doesn't do a good job of explaining things. It's usually just so vague and general and just sounds like a bunch of fluff. So basically, here's how this works. So you choose how you want to feel, right? So if you're trying to manifest a good health, you need to find the feeling space of good health and use visualizations and whatever other kind of things you can coming from inside of yourself to make you feel good, to generate that state of the wish fulfilled, to generate that, like, the feelings of what it would feel like if you were healthy or successful or whatever. And then feel how you've chosen. So feel healthy or feel fit or whatever. And then the idea is that life offers you experiences and brings you people, places, and things in which to support that feeling that you've chosen. Okay? And so what that means is basically, I feel really, really healthy right now. I feel energetic. I feel lean and strong and capable and enthusiastic about life. Okay, let's just say I feel happy, lean, and strong. Let's just say I feel really, really healthy. Okay, and that's the feeling state I've created. I feel really healthy, energetic, disease-free, youthful, like I'm going to live forever. Okay, So now what happens, you set the emotion and you do your best to cultivate it and develop it. And I've actually found with this philosophy, with the feeling is a secret kind of thing, when you feel the end result, you feel as if you feel the feelings that you would feel if you would have achieved that goal. So I'm feeling healthy or whatever. I go to my local grocery store, and now I meet people like there's like a woman at the front door of the grocery store that offers me 50% off of beef or something, right? Like ground beef. And I get a 50% off coupon of like $20 a ground beef or something. That's a crazy deal. And now the universe has just given me a sign that this is the food that's going to make me healthy. Okay? And it's like as long as I'm feeling those feelings of being healthy, there's going to be personal trainers are going to pop into my life, and if they pop in my life as a result of the feelings of health that I've cultivated inside myself, they're going to reinforce those feelings of health. Okay, so this is basically how feeling is a secret, living in the end, the things that Neville Goddard and Abraham Hicks kind of talks about. This is called the bridge of incidences. Okay, look these things up. The bridge of incidences, what Neville Goddard talks about or calls this. It's basically you've set the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and now you go through your day, and these people that have the solutions, they have the guidance to help take you to your goal. They present themselves like you're watching this video right now as a result of whatever feeling state you had previously. And this video is going to help you to feel the feelings that you want to feel from your dominant vibration, okay? Or whatever feeling you were feeling before. And that can go a couple different ways. So anyway, you feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and then life starts to offer you experiences that are in alignment of that feeling, that support that feeling. And then you observe those experiences that the universe has given you, that were given to you, that are in alignment with that dominant feeling. And then you respond to those experiences with a similar emotion. Okay? So this really is a law of attraction. This is what the law of attraction is basically saying. You choose how you want to feel. You're literally setting your vibrational frequency, or as Abraham Hicks likes to say, your vibrational set point. What else has she said? She has a bunch of like phrases for it. She has a whole bunch of different ways of explaining the same thing. But you're setting your vibrational frequency is what they basically say. You're choosing your feeling. You are setting the radio dial. You are tuning in to the channel. Okay? And so if you set your feeling state to happy and enthusiastic, as you go through your life, you're going to meet people who are also happy and enthusiastic. Make friends that are happy and enthusiastic. You're gonna eat food that makes you feel more happy and enthusiastic. And really, it's more so whatever people that you meet are going to reinforce. They're gonna make you feel more happy and enthusiastic, basically. And then, of course, you're observing these experiences and getting more feelings. Okay. So the universe is reflecting you experiences that help to reinforce how you're feeling. Now, obviously, there's the flip side to that. And this is the analogy you probably have heard a lot. I think they used it in the movie The Secret. That there's that phrase, getting up on the wrong side of the bed. You wake up in the morning and you stub your toe on your bedpost or something. And then you check your phone and your notifications, and maybe you see that you have no notifications or something. And that makes you feel lonely and worthless or something. And then as you go through your day, like, I don't know, you drive to work and there's like really bad traffic and people cut you off and you continue to focus on it. And it's just reinforcing your feelings of anger, dissatisfaction, and worthlessness or loneliness or whatever. And then I don't want to even continue on this because it just gets worse from there. When you start to have a bad day in the morning, it builds momentum, and those feelings of a bad day grows. And then external circumstances continue to reinforce that feeling unless you stop that momentum. Unless you can slow that momentum down, this is a vibrational scale Abraham Hicks talks about, until it's at a neutral, kind of halted point. And then you want to turn that momentum in the other direction. And really, you need to start to build positive momentum. And this is where affirmations come in, positive visualization. For me, what I do is I start to reflect critically on the situation. And I find thinking about situations and putting them into a realistic context, you find things are almost never as bad as you think they are. And even further, oftentimes I find things are way better than I think that they are on paper, but that my mind is playing tricks on me. And it's like an illusion. And it's not even something I have to try to delude myself to. Like, you see all these comments and these really, it's kind of cringy in these videos where people are like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but whoever reads this comment, the universe loves you, and a lot of people value you. You are worthy. Those comments don't help anyone. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. But whenever I read them, they don't reinforce good feelings. Okay. To me, that just looks like someone who's really trying hard. There's like really desperate to feel good. And it's just going to attract more feelings of disparity. So the key, though, is that you at any given moment, you have the choice of how you can perceive situations and try to get in vibrational alignment with them. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So it's a matter of your internal state being reflected by your external state, and it's a self-fulfilling cycle, okay, that reinforces itself. Now, of course, there's other things that are completely not the same thing as this that also work, like placebo effect, right? Now, the placebo effect we can maybe think of in a similar fashion, where we feel there's I've talked about different things, but there are studies that literally show someone who is given a placebo steroid, okay, a group of trained lifters who are given a placebo steroid, literally add like 50 pounds to their bench press in 2 weeks, all of them on average, just by believing that they're on steroids. And they report having the best training sessions ever in those 2 weeks. And there's also studies showing positive, like motivational videos and stuff being watched in between sets actually significantly improve strength gains. But anyway, and pre-workout and caffeine getting you jacked up. But anyway, I wanted to bring this up. So it could be that it could be the feeling there, maybe. I mean, what is it? Is it the belief that something that a modality is going to work, or is it the feeling, or are they both the same thing, feeling and belief? Because this is the thing. So many people, like I've gotten comments from people that say, detach. How do I detach from the outcome? Is it even important to detach from the outcome? And the key here is, it doesn't matter how attached or detached you are to anything. All that matters is how you feel. And this is within the context of this video, talking about feeling as a secret. The benefit of detaching from the outcome is that you're not emitting a needy and desperate, and you're not vibrating on a vibration of lack. So there's the idea of something, and then there's the actual thing. So when people are getting caught, they're trying really hard to detach from the outcome, and they're reading about how to detach from the outcome. They're attached to detaching from the outcome, and they're desperate for the information, and they're vibrating a vibration of, I don't know how to attract good things. And they're just going to manifest a lot more curiosity because that's what they're doing. But anyway, the benefit of detaching from the outcome is to get rid of the vibrations of lack. When you're attached to the outcome, you're feeling desperate. You're feeling, is this going to work? How much time is it taking? It's like this anxious vibe. So it's not about detaching from the outcome or how attached you are or letting go, okay? It's about how do I feel when I think about this, right? So again, like living in the end is about feeling the feelings that you would feel if you manifested your desire. So, so I don't want to get too deep into specifics, but, like, for example, confidence. Confidence isn't even a good word. Confidence is built through taking action. But taking action helps you feel these feelings. This is a thing people don't understand. So one of the things I've noticed, because I have a family of very successful entrepreneurs and people that, whatever, I don't want to get too deep into that either, but basically I have been very close to some very successful people in my life, and I've recognized none of them are trying to detach from the outcome, and they're actually very attached to the outcome. But what they focus on, what they are really feeling is determination. It's like, I'm going to solve this problem no matter what. They're feeling empowered feelings. They're feeling like, like, I don't know if I can accomplish this goal, but I'm going to do everything I can to give myself the best chance possible. So feelings of determination, and maybe not feelings of enthusiasm. And this is the key here. You often hear, how is it that we have self-help gurus who are like David Goggins, you got to suffer. You got to learn how to enjoy suffering, and you got to chase suffering. Comfort is the enemy or whatever. And it's like, you don't want to be like, that's like, I don't know, what people call toxic motivation, or I don't know. But it's just like, I know people, I have clients who are also very successful business people, by the way. And if he's watching this right now, that would be interesting. Who's like trying to be like the Latino David Goggins, because I actually told him he needs to start making videos. So he does them now, and I love it. But see, this guy actually likes that kind of philosophy because it motivates him. It makes him feel, he told me it makes him feel like he felt when he was in the military, which is interesting. Only now his life is not really on the line, but he likes feeling like it is. He likes that suffering motivation stuff. So he runs 8 miles a day sometimes. Very, very good person, by the way. But what I'm trying to get at, though, is that there's different kind of different feeling states that can achieve the same goal. And you might look at someone who's like, yeah, you gotta suffer. I love suffering, or whatever it is, right? And they're achieving their goals, and they look successful, and building like $1 million followings like David Goggins or whatever, from promoting suffering or whatever, and becoming successful. But and then of course there's plenty of entrepreneurs who do not feel good all the time, like Abraham Hicks kind of says. They are feeling determined. They're feeling like, they're getting a boost in achievement. Like they're feeling achieved, like little bumps, right? That make them feel achieved for the day or fulfilled. And it's those little feelings of, I've achieved a goal, I feel fulfilled, man, that stack up over time. And those are the feelings that you would feel at the wish fulfilled. They're not reading Neville Goddard. They're not reading Law of Attraction stuff. But they're successful because they are living in the end before they've manifested the goal, but they don't think of it that way. So they focus on these, like, whatever it is, the practical stuff in the business world and this and that. But they're feeling the way that you would feel if you were running a $1 million business or whatever. So I can guarantee you, if all you do is sit at home, watch TV, eat food that makes you feel pleasure, you're not going to get the body that you want. You're not going to feel healthy. You're not going to be healthy. And you're not going to be a millionaire. You know, if you're going to the gym and you're just talking up a storm and you're on your cell phone, you're not living in the end. Unless you can somehow feel like, you know, an ultra marathon runner or a jiu-jitsu gold medalist when you're just like slacking all the time. And I'll be honest, I've learned, so those of you who've been following me this year know, I completely demolished my competition in January and won gold at a really gritty, hardcore tournament, in my opinion. It's like a good thing. It's like a hardcore grappling tournament where you're guaranteed like 5 fights or whatever. Like I fought 4 different people, and they're all 15 pounds heavier than me, won gold. And then I compete again in IBJJF and had 2 opponents and won silver and got disqualified. It's a bunch of craziness. And I've been studying law of attraction and manifesting this entire year, but yet the second tournament didn't turn out so well. And I'll tell you what I did for that tournament is I was very rigid. I was very concerned. I didn't feel anxious or like jittery during my actual competition. You know, the second one that I won silver. I didn't lose it. But I was questioning it. I was like, oh, this guy's stronger than me. 'Cause I looked him up. I always try to know my enemy. You know, he squats like more than I do and all this other stuff. And he's 15 pounds heavier than me. And I had a really hard weight cut. And then the division that I was trying to compete in, they all pulled out last second. So I cut weight for nothing. Felt like crap most of the time leading into the competition. My training was not dialed in. I had like 6 months to prepare for that competition. And I actually felt way more prepared for my competition in January when I only had 2 months to prepare. Okay. Basically, I won silver. This is what I feel now. I won silver in IBJJF, mostly because I was not feeling good about my training for those months. I get confidence from training effective training, not putting my suffering during training. That just gets me injured and burnt out. But when I'm able to train consistently and train in a way that I feel good about, that I feel confident in, when I'm confident about my training, and I build this fire inside me and I let it out in competition, I do amazing. But basically, feeling is a secret. I was feeling doubts. I was feeling like my training wasn't good enough. And then I was experimenting too much with too many different supplements, didn't have anything consistent. And then on training day, I was feeling so freaking calm. Okay, in January, I was pumped up on caffeine and just feeling like a monster. But this time I was like, no, I'm going to like try to be calm and try not to drink too much caffeine and blah, blah, blah. Because you hear all these people are like, oh, no, it'll just make you too anxious and jittery. This time I was like, man, like I feel like I could sleep if I wanted to. I just feel so calm and no adrenaline at all. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And so anyway, the feeling was not conducive to winning a gold medal. But I won silver, and there was a bridge of incidences that led me to winning silver. The tournament, the way it was organized, kind of organized itself in a way that made me allowed me to skip a couple steps actually and win silver. I don't want to get into detail on that, but last minute things started to change. The universe started to kind of reorganize itself at the last minute to put me in a better spot. But I still only won silver, and because I was really, really attached to this one kind of sequence of moves that I was going to do, and then when the reality did not reflect my visualization, I lost my confidence. Even though I could have still won. And I kind of just, yeah. So, two completely different feeling states. The first one was determination. It was like, I don't care what happens on that tournament, what moves work or don't work. I'm going to find a way to win no matter what. My opponents have no chance, whatever. The feeling state that I was building was impeccable, and I won because of that. So, there was another thing I want to mention, but I took so much time with all this other stuff. But hopefully y'all have watched this far. But basically, what I really want to talk about here is alcoholics and drug users and stuff like that, and the law of attraction. This was an epiphany, god dang it, for me today. So I've heard Abraham Hicks been asked this, but she doesn't explain it in a way that is easy to understand. You have to like use a translator or something, because it's just like a bunch of knots you have to untie when you listen to her. Basically, people who drink alcohol, so let's say that you're depressed, okay? You're depressed, and Abraham Hicks tells you just feel good. You're the entire all you need to do to use the law of to bend the law of attraction in your favor. All you need to do to manifest abundance is feel good, right? Feeling is a secret. And you take that literally. You're like, okay, whatever it takes to feel good will help me manifest good things, right? So let's say you're depressed. Like, man, I just need to feel good. Do whatever it takes to feel good, according to Abraham Hicks, right? And you're depressed. Well, that's usually what happens with alcoholics. Is they have traumatic childhood experiences, or they have bouts of depression or whatever it is, and then they try to cover up their problems with alcohol. So you feel depressed, and then you take an efforted action to numb the depression, to cover up the depression, or just to feel good, if you want to say so. But that came from an internal feeling of depression. So your feeling state is depression. So you go ahead and you don't change your thoughts consciously. You don't change your beliefs. You take an external substance like alcohol or, I don't know, cocaine or whatever, I don't know. And then basically the idea is whatever you feel, whatever your dominant feeling state is, your dominant vibration or frequency or whatever, the universe reflects that back to you and reinforces it, and it brings you more. It brings you circumstances that will bring you more of the same feeling. And so what happens is people feel depressed or whatever, and they drink alcohol, and then it just brings them more depression. So in the short term, maybe you get drunk, you fall asleep, or you pass out, or whatever it is, the drug or the substance or whatever it is, makes you feel better in the short term. I mean, I don't know. I've never actually been drunk, believe it or not. The closest I've ever been to being drunk was drinking an entire bottle of wine. My girlfriend at the time, who was a bartender, insisted I wasn't drunk. I was definitely tipsy. I was laughing my ass off. I was definitely acting a fool, but I don't think I was drunk. So that was the closest. And yeah, there's not a lot of alcohol in wine, so I'm sure I wasn't drunk. Okay. So yeah, I've never really been drunk, but I was gonna say, I don't think getting drunk actually feels good anyway. But I don't know. From what I've seen, from the people that I've seen get drunk, and let's just say there's a lot of really hilarious insights, like stories about the people that I know that I gotten drunk. I'm not gonna say any names. Really close people that I've seen over and over again get drunk. I'm gonna have to make a video talking about my dad getting drunk. I'm gonna have to, because oh my god, it's both. it's both the scariest and most disturbing thing you've ever seen in your life, where you don't know if you should be scared for your life, but at the same time the most hilarious thing, because even if it was meant to be scary, there's nothing he could do about it because he's so fucking drunk. Um, anyway, but anyway, that what happens when people get drunk, right? So they're depressed or whatever it is, or maybe they lost their job. Here's a really good one. They lost their job, right? Feelings of lack, feelings of loss, feelings like I've lost something, I've lost my life or whatever, right? Then they get drunk, right? Or they do drugs or something, and now they're under the influence of this substance, and now they go in a drunken rage, and maybe they destroy their apartment, and next thing you know, they get evicted from their apartment. Is that the word, evicted? I don't know, but they get banned from their apartment now. Now they got to move out of their apartment. They get evicted or whatever, and maybe they lose their job or they already lost their job. Maybe they lose their spouse, their family. Alcohol does that to people, okay? And so you could kind of make the case that it's the feeling of loss and depression that makes people drink alcohol, and then it reinforces those feelings of loss and depression and lack, and so they just continue to attract more lack and loss. Okay. And I'm not going to talk, so I don't want to bring up other things, but there's a lot of examples of people that statistically are more addicted to drugs and alcohol than others, and at the same time their actual life circumstances is pretty much not a lot of assets in their life. Let's just say that, without whatever. Patronizing anyone, is that the word? Yeah, but the feeling of loss, motivates people to drink alcohol and do these other things to feel better about it, and then it brings them more of those feelings through life circumstances of loss. They lose more job, more relationships. Back in I don't have friends like this now, but when I was younger, I had friends that were alcoholics and they were homeless, and well, I'm not going to go too detailed, but they in a drunken rage would just would get in these arguments while they're under the influence, and it would get bad, and then they'd run away, and all sorts of weird things would happen. There's a lot of people I know that are like that, and I don't want to go too deep, but it's not just things you think of as drugs. There's something that people do that I've noticed that is kind of a gray area. Some people, like Nate Diaz, are able to do that substance and actually benefit from it tremendously. Other people, not so much. It tends to allow them to kind of lack ambition and not really create a lot of things. But, it's not a good thing to overgeneralize. So anyway, yeah, I mean, look, it's really an open kind of thing, right, about what you need to do, but it's not so much feeling good, right? If I eat a freaking package, a whole box of donuts or something, right? Maybe, I mean, not me now, I don't feel pleasure from that at all, but people will feel pleasure from eating donuts or whatever, right, in the short term. But then what happens in 2 hours? You get the crash. You get digestive things. It reinforces fatness. Not always. Not always. I can guarantee you if I ate a box of donuts every day, all it would do is help my deadlifts. But, yeah, so the idea is you feel motivated, you feel, really good about fitness. You feel really good about, just your health in general, and you're feeling feelings that you would feel if you reached your health goal. Now you attract books at the bookstore that are in alignment with your feelings of healthy. You attract personal trainers into your life that are in alignment with helping you feel more feelings of health. Whatever it is that you set your feeling point to, You're going to attract more things in your life experience to help you feel more of those feelings. And so it's important to understand that there's a huge difference between acting as if or faking it till you make it. Okay, that is that concept, fake it till you make it, act as if, is not the same as feeling the feelings that you would feel as if you were that thing or accomplished that thing. Acting and feeling are two different things, and I think this is huge because I'm very vocal, I'm very much against, I guess. I wouldn't say I'm against it, but I caution against the idea of faking it till you make it because I've seen so many people that do this and it backfires. And one of my biggest things that I've talked about in a video before is when you fake it till you make it or you act as if, you're focusing on acting and manipulating the external environment. You're focusing on trying to get other people to validate a self-image that you're attaching yourself to that you don't genuinely feel that way already. The only difference between being naturally something and faking something is really how in alignment you feel with it. And when we're really trying to manifest true change and transformation and good things, we're focusing on alignment. Faking anything is not alignment talk. It's not real talk. Because when you're in alignment with the end result or whatever, right? And you don't even have to focus on the end. Feelings of motivation, enthusiasm, determination carries you through to the end. And those are actually feelings you'll feel if you're successful and and all this other stuff. But it's very, very different, completely different feeling state and completely different kind of approach and practical application compared to someone who's like, yeah, I'm just going to act like I'm rich, pose in front of a bunch of cars or whatever it is and try to look rich. Like, what exactly are you actually accomplishing? You're getting you're getting a bunch of subscribers on your social media, maybe getting a bunch of likes in your photos. How much money are you making? Like, not immediately by just getting people to validate that you have a nice picture where you look successful. It doesn't actually make you money, but you could use those followers to make money. But so yeah, I mean, feeling successful. It's not even feeling successful, because that's the other thing, is like people get it twisted. When you feel success, when you try to feel like you have accomplished a goal, okay? I mean, the feeling of being a successful person is different than that feeling of accomplishment in that moment too. So a successful person doesn't feel like, oh, I've made it. I've crossed the finish line. I'm done with the race. A successful person is living a lifestyle of constant achievement. Now that's again key, because so many people are like, oh, I'm going to feel how I would feel if I, won the Olympics or whatever. And I don't think that's bad. But what about feeling the feelings that you would feel if you were an Olympic athlete and you've already won multiple world championships and you're looking back and you're trying to win your next one? What would that person feel? Well, how would he think? Obviously, not going to be in the slightest bit lazy or feeling doubts. He's going to be like, man, I've already won, 5 different championships in the already. I'm getting ready to win my next one. I'm determined. I'm focused. I'm going hard every day, and I love it. And those are the feelings you really want to kind of, get. So yeah, feeling in the, what is it? Living in the end is not the same thing as acting as if. It's not the same thing as faking it till you make it. Feeling the wish fulfilled is not the same thing as letting go of attachment. Living in the end is not about letting go. But if you're really like desperate for your goal and you every time you think about it, you're like, man, it's not happening, and you feel this anxiety, well, you're definitely not living in the end then. And if you're visualizing something and all this other stuff, and during that time you're feeling as if it's not actually getting accomplished, then it doesn't matter. Your visualization's actually having the opposite effect, because you're visualizing your goal with feelings of anxiety. And so it's what you focus on grows, but the feeling that you're focusing on is the biggest thing. So like if you're focusing on some kind of, I don't know, like if you're focusing on poverty with like feelings of doubt and feelings of helplessness, feeling helpless and doubtful towards poverty does not help poverty. And I think that's the key that a lot of people get triggered about because they don't understand it. Feeling feeling determined to help poverty, feeling not hopeful, feeling expecting your actions and your focus on poverty to have a positive impact on the world is a very powerful thing that has tremendously positive power towards improving the world. And this is very powerful here. This is where the fake law of attraction people, or the law of attraction porn people, is a good way to put it. The people who literally just are, their whole YouTube channel is about the law of attraction and manifesting, and that's how they make their money. And they became millionaires by selling law of attraction courses. If you understand the law of attraction, all you need is a book or two, a video or two. You don't need a course. Those are not the good gurus. So anyway, that's where the fake law of attraction people are very different from the real ones, so to speak. Is like, if you want to impact the world, so they'll tell you, just don't focus on it, bro. Focus on, abundance and becoming a millionaire and all the empty stuff that sells their programs. But where it's really at is if you do focus on poverty, and that is something you really care about, but yet you're spreading, you're like, spreading, hatred and videos of like horrible things happening. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. This is terrible. The world is going downhill. It doesn't help the situation at all. What would help the situation is, first of all, donating to that cause. And that's the first thing you can do. Making sure that money actually goes to the cause, of course. Beyond that, spreading positive enthusiasm towards improvement in that area in society is important. Because you want to share those positive feelings with society. And you should be promoting the idea that we can change this for the better. We will change this for the better, and we'll make it, I don't know, a motivational experience, I guess. But I'll tell you, the world definitely needs more upliftment. The world definitely needs more belief. Because I believe it's helplessness. It's helplessness, it's hopelessness, and feelings of disbelief in oneself. That's at the root cause of a large amount of the world's suffering. And so that's why I like to focus on is like, hey, we can do this. Like, you have a goal, you can achieve it. Because that person who's trying to better themselves and improve themselves is not going to be out committing crimes. I don't want to go too deep into that subject, but I've known people that have gone to jail and had a bad run for a while, had bad childhood, and turned their lives around completely. And they did focus completely on self-improvement. They had a complete shift in their feeling state and in their mind state. And they have definitely went from hurting society to all of a sudden creating good things in society. But I've also known other people that have tried to do that and kind of failed, and it didn't really turn out so well for them. But a huge shift in their feeling state had to take place. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. And a lot of that is people, like, and Abraham Hicks has kind of talked about this, where people, they'll go so far in their negative feelings and feeling as if they were whatever negativity. And it builds momentum and it snowballs out of control. And this is how a lot of these catastrophes happen in the world, is negative momentum. You know, like, I don't want to name names and stuff, but like, well, let's just say like Elliot Rodgers, like, that was horrible. That is the worst mindset to have. What he was talking, how he was talking about females is not healthy at all, not realistic at all. And so basically what I think, and I've noticed this in a lot of those incel communities, is that these people, they had like a bad experience in childhood, and they saw some things in their family dynamic which built beliefs and feelings about relationships that made them blame all of their problems on females or whatever it is. And then they try to date people or whatever it is in their school. And then maybe a girl rejects them or cheats on them or whatever, and they take it way worse than it really is, like more personally. And then they built up resentment surrounding the situation, and then it snowballs out of control, and it's just them feeling resentment towards females, and then having more experiences that reinforce that. You know, what is it? The confirmation bias that we talked about in other videos on law of attraction, scientifically proven. And it reinforces the feelings, and the feelings grow, and then the experiences get worse until eventually you do what Elliot Rodgers did, which was horrible. And that's how that happens. Now, you can look on the other side of things where someone has, you know, influences and stuff in their childhood that make them feel really good about females and relationships. And then they start to have positive, you know, experiences and positive behaviors towards females in school, and then they have positive relationships with them. These people are not going to probably ever do anything remotely close to what that Elliot Rodgers did, okay? And so I'm just showing contrasting belief systems, family environments, and feeling states that are the cause that lead to completely different effects. And so my philosophy is, if we try to reinforce people's enthusiasm and beliefs in themselves and things like that, that we can create positive change in the rest of the world. So this video took a complete freelance path. Somehow I naturally covered like 3 of the most misunderstood and controversial topics surrounding law of attraction and manifesting, right? So like the poverty thing, like, you know, a lot of conspiracy theorists claim that like law of attraction is just to get you to become distracted and to not protest or something against the Illuminati or something, right? But I think that if you really understand the law of attraction, you'll actually see that if you believe in it and you really understand it and you utilize it properly, you actually have way more of a chance of causing positive change than cussing people out in the freaking comments because you think they're Illuminati paid off people or something, right? And that's what happens to these people, is they go down these rabbit holes of like everything in the world's a conspiracy, and like any hope, like law of attraction, it's against God and it's the work of the devil, people say. And then they just start to feel more paranoid and more like they're being, you know, like, I don't know, like mind controlled or whatever, is, and that the whole world is like being controlled by the Illuminati or whatever it is, you know, and they think law of attraction's devil stuff. and it's like commenting and ranting on my comments, and then like getting more paranoid, and then obviously they're seeking out these arguments of these people, and it just keeps giving that feedback back and forth. So anyway, hopefully this made sense and was demonstrated in a rather organized fashion. Yeah, we covered poverty and what to do about it using law of attraction. We covered really catastrophic circumstances and how they can be created from negative vibrations spiraling out of control. And then maybe what to focus on to improve it, right? Stopping that momentum and helping that person to shift their feelings and beliefs towards something more constructive and positive. And then what was the first thing that we covered? Oh yeah, alcoholism and drugs, and how just because you think getting drunk might make you feel better than depressed doesn't mean it's going to make the depression better. Right? You're gonna make it worse most likely, and then become addicted to alcohol and need it to sleep and all this other stuff. And alcoholism just like completely destroys people's life. So yeah, drugs, alcohol, and the law of attraction. What else did we cover? Faking it till you make it, and the difference between that and feeling in the end. And then also what demystifying this whole detachment from the outcome thing and letting go, and why, like what utility it has, but then also why it's not so much the detachment or the letting go, but it's the feelings that you'll feel when you let go. You know, you're like, life is good, life is great, feeling at ease will definitely attract a lot of good things. I mean, really, it's like if you feel at ease, you're going to attract, the universe is going to give you more things that reinforce those feelings of being at ease. If you feel, and I don't even know if that's true. These are all hypotheticals. But if you feel successful or whatever, you're going to attract good things no matter what good feeling you feel. So at least that's according to the law of attraction. So anyway, yeah, leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you disagree, and what points do you disagree on? And what did you get out of this video? Did it make sense? And what were some of your favorite kind of philosophies you got from it? And then what would you like to hear me talk more about or dive deeper into? And then did I miss something? Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great day. Subscribe and like and comment.